What's up, guys? Thanks for watching the podcast. I truly appreciate it. I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe from you. That helps the YouTube channel grow. And I wanted to drop in and remind you one more thing. If you have any friends, family, or anyone you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please have them call me. Get in touch with me via email at blake@blakebaker.net or on Instagram at blakebakerrealestate. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Under Contract podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Under Contract podcast. We are finally live and recording after a little bit of technical difficulty, but I am here with my new friend. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, what you do.
All right, so my name is Gearen. I own Coastal Junk Removal. We work pretty much Houston to Galveston, but we've got an office in Kemah. And then I've got Nohoa Threads, which is an apparel line. And like the main purpose behind that is like donating to animal rescue and stuff from each shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
that shirt you brought me was pretty sick, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm glad I went with the XL. I think it's going to fit good. But so when did you get into the junk removal business, and what were you doing before, and kind of how did that whole idea start?
So I started Coastal in 2019. I was the operator at Lyondale in Channelview. I know everybody's an operator. Well, or was at some point.
So Fernando, my friend that I just called to get our thing, he works at I'm drawing a blank now, but he's an operator.
Yep.
And then my other buddy Grayson, he was an operator and quit to work for himself.
Yep. So I've met Grayson a few times through a mutual friend, but I mean it's been a few years since I talked to him. But yeah, I saw him on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then Fernando also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the operator at Lyondale. We were doing a turnaround in 2019, and I just kind of been wanting to start a business anyway, and everybody there had something on the side. So I talked to a couple of franchises about like franchising junk removal, and dude, it was just crazy expensive, like what they wanted. So I mean, you got to buy their, the truck that they want. You got to put their wrap on it. You got to pay the franchise fees. And so, I mean, just to start a franchise is going to be like 100, 150 grand.
Whoa.
And
before you even do a job.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, man, no way. I figure I could just do that myself. So I looked on YouTube, watched some videos, started out with a $3,000 trailer that I bought for my first turnaround check.
A dump trailer?
It was just a landscape trailer.
Okay.
I had an 06 250, and I pulled that around with it. And then as soon as I could afford to upgrade to a dump trailer, I bought a dump trailer and then ran that until I got the dump truck. And then, so now I've got like a dump truck and some roll-offs.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, like dump trailers are the small, when you say roll-off, it's like a box that literally rolls off the trailer into the driveway. Those smaller ones you can pull with a pickup, but like my dad used to have 40-yard roll-off boxes, and he had a truck dedicated to that.
CDL truck.
Yes, he had a big Mack truck.
Yeah,
and I mean the difference in your capabilities based upon which box you have. I mean, if you have a 40, you can get into more commercial stuff. I would think, huh? Right?
Oh yeah, it's like the 40s. Like there's a few big places around here that have those. So I've just been trying to market for what they can't accommodate because they don't have the smaller ones. So the smaller ones are better for like residential stuff, people moving out. Yeah. Hoarder clean out, stuff like that.
Do you rent those out or do you just keep them?
Oh yeah, those I rent those out. And then so with those, we just drop off. We have a 1, 3, and 5 day or a 7-day rental. And then the dump truck, I don't know if you saw it on Instagram or not, but it's you've seen like a 1-800-GOT-JUNK truck. It's like that.
Is it like a single axle or like a big?
Yeah, it's
tandem?
A single axle.
Okay.
It's got a 14-foot dump bed.
Yeah.
And then, if you see it driving around, it's got big bull horns on it that
nice.
I found in a roll-off when I picked it up from a rental, and I was like, oh, those are going on the truck.
Yeah, and that's what you call branding.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, you see that truck and people know who it is, man.
So, yeah, you'll see it light blue and big old bull horns on it. But yeah, that we use that for like stuff that we're going and doing. So like if we go remove items, couches, clean out, stuff like that.
How often do you run into problems with people renting a box? Do you make them pay up front, or how does that? Yeah, that's what I would do, man.
Yep. It's pay at delivery. So
yeah.
But
so what I always kind of like to ask this question from business owners, because I know getting into real estate, kind of what I expected versus what it actually was. What did you kind of expect leaving Lyndale, getting into that? Did you kind of expect it to pick up, or did it happen slower than expected, or faster?
So I did it part-time until this last April or March or April, I don't remember, is when I went full-time. So I was doing it just part-time on my days off. Our schedule was 4 on, 4 off, and we would rotate. But we never had 4 days off. Like, we were always working overtime.
You're on call, right?
Yeah.
Man, I've always heard that.
And like it ended up being more of like 6 days straight, a day and a half off, then you come back on nights for, 6 nights or whatever.
Bro.
And I was doing it before work if I was working nights, and after work when I was working days. And I did that until last April. And I mean, it got to the point, like, I lived in Seabrook, so the drive was like 30 minutes, and then we moved out to Santa Fe. And so the drive was a little longer. And I was falling asleep every day coming home from work. When I worked nights, I'd fall asleep. And I was like, man, I just can't keep doing this. It's like, if I got to bet on one thing, I'm going to bet on me other than a company. So,
At least, you know what? At least you could say you tried.
Yep. So yeah, I went full-time doing that. And it picked up initially like really good, but then my Google kept getting suspended because I changed my address to our office in Kemah. And it was like, man, it would be up and running for 3 weeks, and then they'd send me an email saying, we suspended it for suspicious activity with the address.
And I bet getting hold of Google's just a cakewalk.
Yep. Like, so
getting them on the phone.
Yeah, so I've been fighting that for 2 months almost, trying to get it back up and running. So, I mean, we're going off social media, ads on Facebook and Instagram, and then like the yard signs.
Yeah. Google has been suspiciously easy for me, I guess, because I set it up and I haven't changed anything.
Yeah.
So like,
that was when it happened. Like, I was good for years, and then I changed the address, and it was like, right away.
What is your Instagram for everybody?
Coastal Junk Removal 1.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's funny, we've been talking a little while, and then this is finally cool. This is literally the first time we've met, so this is cool. But you have any crazy stories as to like hoarder houses or anything? Because I had this lady call me last week after we had scheduled our podcast, and it was an older woman whose husband had passed away, and it's this house in Old Pasadena.
Yeah.
And dude, I walked in there, and she's in pretty bad health, and they smoked in there, and it was all white walls at one time. I know that because you could see where the pictures hung on the wall.
Where it used to be white.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, let me just look around. I'll take some pictures, and we're going to put it on the market hopefully next week. But it's honestly, it was sad because I mean, it was, she didn't want it to be that way. She just she's not in that.
Can't keep up with it.
Yeah. She's on oxygen and all that. So I'm like, can I go upstairs? She's like, yeah. I ain't been able to go up there in 10 years, honey. My health is just too bad. And so I don't even know what it looks like up there. Bro. Bad.
Yeah.
Like mouse, rat feces, like just piles of crap in rooms.
Yeah.
I don't know the story behind it, but I mean, have you ever ran into anything like?
Yeah, we've done some houses like that. I mean, like you said, man, it's sad because they don't want to live like that, but some of them, they just can't help it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it'd be the parents. They lived there, they passed away, and now the kids are having to deal with getting this house cleaned out and all that stuff before you sell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we did an eviction clean out last week, and it was like almost 4 truckloads of just stuff. Clothes, supplements. It was crazy.
Yeah.
There was just brand new unopened supplements in there.
What's the rule on that? Can you take those?
Yeah, we'll take them, but I mean, we got to go dump those. We try to go to Pearland as much as possible on Dixie Farm Road.
Why is that?
Because they charge by the yard.
Oh, the dump.
Yeah,
over
so
there.
the dump out there, but they don't take like raw garbage or food. So when we have stuff like that, we got to go to Santa Fe off Highway 6 or Galveston to the transfer station. And both of those, I mean, they're crazy expensive.
Really?
Yeah. So we always have to, upcharge for that because, I mean, the dump fees are almost double.
Like, how much is it to take a trailer in there?
So if I take a roll-off to Santa Fe, the last time I did it, it was almost $200 just to dump it.
Wow.
Because they charge like $18 a yard, but there's a fuel surcharge, an environmental surcharge fee. I mean, they just kill you with fees, man. And same thing. So that's the same company that owns the transfer station in Galveston. You take a mattress out there, $108 for just a mattress.
Bro, they must make a freaking killing off
it's insane. So like when I try to, tell people, like if we go pick up a mattress or something, and like, it's $200 to pick up this mattress. They're like, why? Like, because I got to pay $100 to dump it. Like,
yeah.
Like if we're out there, usually we try to go to Pearland as much as possible. But
shoot, it'd probably be worth it to like go out of the way to go
most
to
of the time it is. Yeah.
Dang.
Like a lot of the times, like if we're doing like a big job in Galveston, we'll just run the truck to Pearland. I mean, it's insane.
So do you usually stay pretty busy 5-6 days a week?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
And I try to take like Wednesdays off as much as possible because I'm in like some coaching groups and like all the calls are on Wednesdays. So
like what do you mean?
Like I don't know if you've ever heard of Sean Whalen, like Lions Not Sheep.
I've heard that saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
like
that.
I'm in his coaching group, and then another one. That's a guy out of I think he's out of Idaho.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are on Wednesdays. So I try to take Wednesdays off to do that.
Just like a life coach type deal?
Yeah, just business coaching, stuff like that.
What's the benefits of that you've seen so far?
Man, really, it helps a lot with, I wasn't like too big into social media until I got into those. And like both of them were like, the importance of social media. And I mean, I just never believed it until I started doing it. And like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I started I've had a personal Instagram since like 2011 or something. But when I got into real estate, I pretty much quit posting personal stuff. I don't post personal stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
Anything from me on Facebook, sorry if it's annoying, but it's going to be business.
Yeah.
I don't need to be sharing my political views. Like that's not me. So I decided I was going to start my real estate Instagram, and it picked up traction like really fast. And I noticed I was kind of one of the only ones out of all the realtors I knew that even had Instagram. And at that time, I think I was 27, and all the people in my office were 45 plus. Like I was the youngest by 10 years, 15 years, and none of them did any social media. So, and there was kind of some guidance you could look up online back then about it, not as much as there is now. And it was different back then. The algorithms, you have to learn how to hit all those algorithms. It wasn't like that, and it changed, and I've had to really learn how to ride that. But social media has been my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's like I've got personal, my coastal one, and then my Nohoa Threads one. And like the coastal one took off better than my other ones did, like my personal one for sure. But yeah, man, it's just crazy how much that stuff can take off.
Yeah, I doubled down probably 2-3 months ago now, but I'm posting every day. I'm sure you see my face on there.
Yep.
But dude, I mean, it works because I was at a wedding. I was at my brother's wedding 2 weeks ago. I'm not kidding. Every single person I talked to brought up real estate. Like I don't even have to bring it up.
Yeah. That's what I love about it, man. It's crazy. It's a free platform, and you could become a millionaire off Instagram.
Yeah. And what is everybody doing whenever they're not entertained by something else?
Yep.
Sitting here. Pew, 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 pew.
Yep. And then TikTok, I started a TikTok, but man, that one just confuses me. So
yeah. So I had my buddy Matt on here, and he has a TikTok it's called Setup Spawn is his name, but he does like PC, iPhone, just tips and tricks every day.
Yeah.
And he has been doing that, I guess. He's been at it a while, like probably 7-8 years, but he's up to like 4 million on TikTok.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he was telling me that TikTok is the one where you can catch fire for no reason, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I've had one, just this stupid meme I posted, and it ended up just catching on and got 679,000 views.
Wow.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's magic, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
it really is.
can you imagine being around, but like in the days when you had to advertise in the newspaper
Just
and it cost
crazy.
money,
Door to door, like,
door knocking.
yeah.
Yeah. What are some other ways that you've tried to, like when you first got started, like how are you drumming up business? Because like for
Going
realtors,
places.
we can, yeah, it's a network, or you can cold call, or
Yeah.
like for you, it'd be kind of weird to cold call and be like, hey, how you doing?
You got a bunch of shit you need hauled off.
Yeah.
Man, I would do, like when I first started, especially I'd go to storage units, and then I got like these little cards made. It's just what we did and stuff, and then I would go and drop them off.
That's smart, because we have a storage facility, and
Yep.
we have those people that just peace out.
Yep, they take off and it's full.
Go to jail or whatever. You can't get a hold of them, and you got a unit full of crap.
Yep. So we did that, and then so that ended up getting me on like the preferred vendors list for a few storage places that, you know, I've been doing business with them since 2019.
Nice.
So that's been awesome. Another thing was just driving around, and I've been parking my dump truck at the Sanctuary Gym in Friendswood. Like I'm buddies with Jonathan, the owner of that.
Okay.
And I've been parking that there right on 518, just, you know, trying to get some business off of people seeing the truck. But yeah, I never did. I know a lot of companies, like especially junk removal, would do door hangers. I never got into that just because I don't like people coming up to my door and wedging a card in there or something. I don't like it.
Yeah. And, you know, if you're in business for yourself, you're technically in sales, they always say.
Yep.
But, dude, I'm like, I guess I can be a sales guy if I need to be, but I'm not the guy I've tried cold calling. It just never felt right. It never set right with me. Because like you were saying, I hate getting cold called.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't recognize the number, I usually just don't even answer.
Yeah. And, you know, these kids come into our doors in this neighborhood here, and I'm sure they're, wherever you live, I'm sure they've knocked on your door too. Yep. Excuse me. Selling solar panels.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm a realtor. I know like the ramifications of this.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's just something people don't want to deal with whenever there's you know, you're going to buy a house and you got to take over the payments on it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel bad in a way, because I understand the hustle, and they're just out trying to you know, make a buck, but you feel like you get trapped, and they're sitting there just giving their spiel, and they try to like make it seem like you're going to save all this money. I don't know.
Yep. Like, so the neighborhood that I lived in Seabrook, I lived in Clear Lake Forest, like right off of Kirby and Nass Road 1. That was just what drove me crazy, man. It's like every day there was just some different business card wedged in my front door. I'm trying to leave, open it, 4 business cards fall. Yeah. Like, I will never work with these people. Like, I'll never call them for whatever it is. Yeah. Even if I need it. Where I live now, I mean, you can't get to the house. Like, it's off the road and it's got a gate and stuff.
You're in Santa Fe, you said? Nice. I'm trying to find my friend and his wife a house out there right now, and there's stuff. I mean, it's actually getting crazy where there's stuff sitting, and it's still a little bit too expensive. But I don't know how much you've kept up with the real estate market lately. But
yeah, I try to keep up with it a little bit. But
well, basically, what's happened is interest rates have skyrocketed, and that's just slamming the brakes. Because, you know, the same house that used to be the same $400,000 house that used to be $2,400 a month is now $3,200 a month. Or 31 or whatever, several $100. You know, half a point can swing your payment $100. So that's why it's doing what it's doing. So
yeah, I noticed. So I live like right behind the high school in Santa Fe. Yeah. Off Highway 6. But I know, like, I cut through Cemetery Road, and there's like a big red brick house out there. It's been for sale for a long time.
It was listed for $700. Yeah. But I love Cemetery Road. Like, I mean, dude, I'm just not going to spend that much money on a house. Yeah. Especially when I have a 3.25 interest rate on this one. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to give that up.
And that house, it has like I noticed, because I mean, I just saw it sitting forever. I'm like, man, it seems like a nice house, got a nice barn, a pool, but it's got a lot of pipelines going through the property.
Oh, really?
So I was like, maybe that's why it
Well, if there's a pipeline, you can't build on top of it.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, we ended up, we bought our house from my wife's grandparents' estate. Her grandpa passed away last September, and we bought it from them. So it was a house, you know, it was a family home for for her grandparents and stuff, and I just love it out there, man.
Oh, no.
And it was like the first time I ever went to that house, I was like, I'm going to live here, man. Like, it was just...
How much land are y'all on?
It's a little over 5 acres.
Dang.
It's got a barn. I've got goats and chickens and stuff. They had horses.
Can't beat it. You got your own eggs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, my grandpa used to have probably 15 or so chickens.
Yeah.
And he would literally get a dozen a day. And every time I went over there, he would not let me leave without at least a dozen.
Dude, that's how I'm getting to the point of, it's like, anybody comes to my house, I'm like, dude, grab some eggs. Like,
please.
We got too many.
They really are better, though, dude. Like, if you crack, like, a grocery store egg right next to an organic farm-raised, it's... You can't even compare it.
Yeah, they're 100% pasture raised, man. I love it. And that was a big reason I wanted to move out there. Big animal guy. I love animals, love, playing with animals, working animals, stuff like that. So
what was, you were saying that y'all, what did you say, like you donate to animal?
Yeah, so Nohoa, like 3% of all the profits go to animal rescue. So, like, I've partnered up with 2 different places. Like, we do yearly to a sea life rescue in Corpus Christi.
Okay.
They do, like, sea turtles, stuff like that. And then Habitat for Horses out in Alvin. And it's, all rescue horses and stuff.
So would they rescue them just from people who just don't take care of them?
A lot of them are seizures and stuff like that. Been neglected.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really cool place out in Alvin.
Dude, we used to have, our storage place is in Alvin. It's on
517.
Yeah, seen it?
I've seen your sign out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice, it works.
Yep.
Yeah. But we now own the property right in front of there. There's just like a pasture, but we didn't. We bought the storage, where our storage place is, we bought that in like 2009 or something. We didn't acquire this property until 2018. But between 09 and 18, I don't know if you are familiar with like acreages and like how many head of cattle you're supposed to have per acre. These people, they didn't adhere to that.
Yeah,
because they had like 10 head out there on 5 acres.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, I think you're
like 4 or 5 or something.
Well, I think you're supposed to have like 1 cow per like 4 or 5 acres.
Yeah,
is it something like
you
gotta, because
much.
all they do all day is eat grass. Yeah. So yeah, they run it, and then especially in the wintertime. So yeah, I mean, dude, these cows were like, they just looked like shit.
Yeah.
They had mange all over them. They wouldn't hay them. And some lady thought that we owned the place, and she called animal control on us. And that wasn't the only time animal control came out. They came out several times. Like, they don't play around.
No, they don't.
And dude, like, 1 cow died, and it was just out in the field, just dead, and they just didn't even. Another situation where the people just got too old and couldn't take care of it is what that was. Oh. So, but yeah, animal control did not play. No. I had to steer dog a calf out there one time. A calf had gotten out, and it was like some little lady shows up with her like animal. She was dressed like a cop. I don't know what it was, but it was me and her, and she ran it one way, and I just kind of grabbed it by the ears and held on, and we got her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I want to get some cows at some point, but I've just got goats and chickens right now.
That's easy maintenance.
Yep.
I'll just tell you that. Yep. You don't have any horses?
No, my wife's grandparents had horses out there, but I mean, they all died off. They were all real old.
They're expensive to keep, man. They eat a lot.
Yep.
The feed's expensive. Yeah, and cows. I mean, I know beef is like pretty expensive right now, so I bet it's kind of tough to break into that.
Yeah, I would think so.
But it's hard to turn a profit with cows. I mean, the thing is with cows, if you're gonna do it, you should like make your place a ranch.
Yeah. Yep.
Like with our ranch up in Huntsville, my uncle has about 100 head up there.
Nice.
And yeah, we put it under a ranch, like for the taxes and everything. I mean, that's what it is. We cut hay on it, raise cattle, but man, all he does is complain about, like, there was like a drought last year and there was no hay.
Yeah.
He couldn't find hay, and he had to take like a bunch of them to the sale barn just because he couldn't feed them because there was no hay.
Yep.
Seems
a lot
tough,
of people
man.
were doing that last year.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. But Yeah. Yeah, I really like Santa Fe. I liked Seabrook too, but I like not living in a subdivision.
Yeah, this is good for now, but I definitely would like to eventually be on a little bit of land.
Yeah, like my HOA, man, I would take that dump truck. I didn't leave it there. Like I had a warehouse for it. But man, like if I was in the neighborhood, I'd run home, grab something to eat. 7 days later, man, getting a letter from the HOA.
Just because you were parked in your driveway?
Yeah, you had a dump truck in the driveway and stuff like that, man. It was crazy. And then like that little part, I think it's technically considered Taylor Lake.
Yeah.
It's got like its own police force, and man, they were on me, dude, about that dump truck. Like just crazy.
I just sold a house over there on Bluebonnet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was in July. But yeah, it was like Taylor Lake Village, I want to
Yeah.
say. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Dude,
I thought it was.
I didn't either, and it was like, and it depended. Like if you ordered something online, sometimes you'd type in the zip, and it would pop up Taylor Lake Village, or it would pop up Seabrook.
77586.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but yeah, man, like that neighborhood was cool, like the people, but man, the cops were just hounding anybody that had a business. Man,
Well, if it's
crazy,
if it's a Taylor Lake
yep.
PD, it's like they don't have anything else.
They
to do.
got two neighborhoods, man, and they
like,
were just
it's like El Lago
everybody.
and Morgan's Point and all that. I go running out in Morgan's Point just because there's no one ever drives back there hardly. But I'm running the other day and I see a Morgan's Point PD sitting there, and I'm like, I bet he has the most boring job you could ever imagine.
Yep, just bored to death.
Yeah. So, but what you got going? You got jobs coming next week? He's taking off for the holidays?
Yeah,
or what?
so I'm gonna be on vacation next week.
Going to Hawaii?
Yep.
Nice, bro.
So going back, man, that place is so cool. But I mean, it's not Texas, but it's cool.
Yeah. What do y'all do when y'all go out there?
A lot of hiking, and then last time we went, we did some snorkeling. I was gonna surf this time, but I didn't realize the big difference in waves in like the winter.
Right now is like the pipeline stuff.
I was like,
right?
I'll drown. Like, dude, like Galveston surfing ain't preparing me for Hawaii.
Those aren't they like I don't.
It's crazy.
Like
that's like Vans.
50-foot.
Yeah, like Vans and stuff does their competition out there.
You have to get pulled in by a jet ski.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'll just not do that this time.
Yeah, no, I'll go out there and watch maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too much into like water stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a skier.
Nice.
So I'm trying to plan I got a deal that I really want to close before I go on any vacations, but I usually try to get up to Colorado a couple times a year
That's cool.
and go ski. I like to walk in Breckenridge there. They have like a little town, like Main Street, and there's like several real estate offices, and dude, those properties up there, I mean, 100 million, 70 million. Yeah.
Man.
And I had a guy, we were in Jackson Hole one year, he was telling me like the billionaires are starting to drive out all the millionaires. And it's like the guy that owned, like whoever started M&M's, Mars something, that guy, it's like a huge landowner up there.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just getting to the point to where the millionaires they ain't shit.
That's crazy, man.
Wild. Yeah.
That's a different kind of problem to have.
Well, yeah, I mean, people think they want to be rich and everything, but I guarantee you today, if you got $1 billion wired to your account, bam, there you go. You got a whole new set of problems.
Oh,
at
yeah,
that
for
point.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep. A whole bunch of different problems.
Yeah. But so back to your business, and this is something I've kind of run into. Like your first year, you start making money, and then you go to like file taxes, and your CPA's like, where's this? Where's that? Where's this? Did you have a moment where you're like, oh shit?
Man, so I didn't have like too much because I had bought, so I did some stuff to my truck because like when I started pulling trailer around, my turbo went out.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Those 6.0 Power Strokes, man.
And then, so I had that. And then I had, within the first year, I had the two trailers. I had the landscape trailer as a write-off. And then the dump trailer as a write-off. I did a wrap on my old truck. So that was all within like the first year. So with my taxes from Lyndale and then all that, like I ended up not really owing much because I had so many write-offs. This year is the first time of just being solely employed. I've been keeping everything, man.
You have to, man. And I do the same thing. Cause like my first year of real estate, my dad's kind of old school, and he would just save his receipts.
Yep.
Like any receipt, he would put it in a folder. So that's what I did. I just would get a receipt, put it in the thing. And then at the end of the year, I went to file taxes, and my accountant's like, okay, well, send me all your expenses. And I'm like, yeah.
Yep.
And dude, I had to get out every receipt, type in what it was, where I bought the thing, how much. And I mean, dude, I probably left so much on the table just because I wasn't organized.
Yeah.
And, you know, now here I am 7 years later, anything for the business goes on a card.
Yep.
Goes on a business credit card. At the end of the year, I download my whole year of everything in a nice little PDF email.
Nice.
Straight to them.
Yeah, I've been trying to like master QuickBooks with that, man. But like, dude, I keep everything. Dump receipt goes in my accordion folder. And then the last year I took my stuff to my accountant. He was just like, man, you got to get better at this. Like, you got to go digital.
Well, dude, it takes time to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing people don't understand about being in business for yourself. Doing your actual job is less than half of it.
Yeah.
And if you got employees, if you got to keep books, dude, it never ends. And that I mean, just the job is you. So like you had to learn how to price your jobs.
Yep.
You got to learn how to be competitive with your bids. You got to learn how to dodge DOT because you're pulling trailers all the time.
Like I'm answering the phone. I'm still working the truck just because it's been hard to like find somebody reliable enough to drive the truck around. So I'm answering the phone, working the truck, bidding the jobs, like most of the time dropping the roll-offs. Like it's just a pain, man. And then like I'm trying to keep up with the paperwork. It's like, God dang.
Yeah, you can only do so much yourself, though, dude. Because I used to be, and I think everybody goes through this that starts a business. Like, I wanted to be the hardest worker. So, like, I would do everything myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to delegate that. Like, I could just do it myself. Or, you know, out showing houses till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
These people want to write an offer. I'm going to be up till 11 midnight writing that offer and getting it submitted that night. Whereas now I know when to do that. I know when to press the issue. I know what can wait and what can't. Dude, the thing is, like in real estate, like your gig may be different, but in real estate, if it can't get done by about 5 or a little after 5, it can wait, dude.
Yeah.
Period. The only thing that can't wait is if you have some buyers and there's a listing they want to make an offer on, and the agent says, "Oh, highest and best offer by 7 p.m." Yeah. So then you got to crank. But yeah, I've learned where to press, where not.
Yep.
So, and then how to delegate. I got to a point to where I was doing enough business that I couldn't. I'd be out showing houses, or I'd be out on listing appointments, and I need to send these papers or like these documents to sign, but I can't do it right now. I got to wait till I get back to the office, and it just would pile up on me. So I had to delegate that to a transaction coordinator, and I wish I would have done it sooner, man.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone always says that. As soon as they start hiring people, they say their income just doubled. Like I've heard several big agents that I've that have helped me kind of get going from the beginning. They all say, man, when I hired an assistant, I doubled my income. Yeah. Time is just precious. Cause like a guy like you, do you have employees?
Yeah. So I've got a couple, but man, I got to get somebody. My next hires, they got to be over 21 to drive the truck for my insurance.
They have to be a CDL?
No, it's not CDL, but the insurance won't cover anybody under 21 for it. But man, I've hired 3 people in the last 8 months. Just quit showing up to work. Like unemployment's better, and that's crazy, man.
That is not good, bro.
No, it drives me crazy. Because, dude, like when I left Lyndale, so I was there like a little over, I think 4.5 years, and I did a pipeline before that. But I was like, dude, I'm gonna be off that truck in 3 months when I'm full time, and I was almost there, and it was like, people stopped coming. Like hire somebody, train them, and then they're like, I don't want to work anymore. I had a contract with Theragun, like those massage guns, at the Galleria. And one guy was prying the freight elevator open. So they hit me with a $1,500 fine. So I had to let that dude go. I'm like, God dang, man. Like, I just can't catch a break with people. Oh, my God. I'm like, why would you do that, dude?
Hey, start drug testing them, man. If they pop for crack or meth or any of that.
Yep. So, like, dude, that was nuts, man. So, yeah. I think I've lost three hires, and then I hired one a couple months ago. Do all my like the pre-employment drug testing, background check, driving record, passes. Hire him, doesn't show up to work. And it was I called him. He just needed an offer so he could keep unemployment going, or he needed like interviews and stuff. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, man.
That scares me for this country, man.
Yeah, it's
because
wild.
The older I get, the more I realize what you do. You don't think it matters that much, and he probably didn't think that mattered.
Yeah,
he probably whatever. I'm gonna keep giving, but take your behavior as a person and say, okay, what if everyone in the country did this?
Yep.
Where would that lead?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at stuff more. And if that becomes the norm, where people are just leeching off the government without any care in the world and without any concern about where that leads,
that's how you go socialist, real quick. Yeah, it was nuts, man. And so, like, I talked to one of my buddies owns a security company out in San Antonio, and he was the one telling me, he's like, man, they just need, like, interviews showing that they're interviewing, and they'll keep getting unemployment. I was like, man, I didn't know that.
That's crazy. That dude with the elevator, man, that could have been a lawsuit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it was like the company, the contractor that was working for Theragun ended up saving me because the Galleria was like, oh, that's $5,000 fine. And that dude ended up talking him down, was like, look, like that guy was, the employee was new and all this stuff. So they hit me with $1,500 opposed to $5,000. But I was like, dude, like that's a lot of money for a small business, man. Like, but yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. The price of doing business, man. That's the stuff people don't want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't.
Yep.
And there's something to be said if you are the type that you work somewhere like Lyndale and you can do that. And, I could never go on the flip-flop back and forth day, night. Yeah. But I think there's definitely something to be said for someone who has a job. Like I have a buddy who just got a job at Ineos. And he came over from another plant in LaPorte. But he was saying what you were saying, how, you're off.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You're not off.
You're not off. And he would get called in. And we all went to the Astros game, and it's like, hey, Shane can do stuff now. He's like actually off. And it's like, oh, shit. Yep. Because he was saying that he would be off, but he wouldn't make plans to go do anything just in case he would get called into work. Yep. But he was saying that Ineos is like really badass in that aspect where.
Yeah, that's a good company. It really is. Where
they will give you time off and you are off.
Yeah.
And there's definitely something to be said for being able to leave work and just knowing. Like being a teacher. Like you're off for Christmas.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling.
Yeah, you're not getting called out. Like, that's cool. Yeah, man, like I did shift work. So I went in the Air Force when I was 19.
Really?
Yep.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, appreciate it. And then, so like I did my first 4 years, I did nuclear security. So we worked like a sort of shift. So I started, working crazy shifts or hours at like 19. And then I did that until, last April, just different forms of shift work. And man, my body just, I was spent, man. Like I couldn't do it anymore.
And you were young too, at 19, 20, 21. That's the years where you can take pretty much damn near anything.
Oh, dude, I would run off, hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep and be good. Go back to work. And which is crazy when you think about it, man, because they would, worked us like dogs doing nuke security. I'm like, dude, we're out here like on an hour and a half of sleep. You got a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds out here. Like, it's just crazy. But, dude, I don't know how people did it. Like, my dad was an operator for 40 years. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you did shift work that long. Like, I did it 19 to 35, and I was like, man, I'm going to die if I keep doing this. Like,
dude, I
just can't do it.
I've seen a lot of cases where those guys get to be 60 years old and they retire, and within 5 years, they're dead.
Like, it's crazy. And then, like, the last year I was at Lyndale, we had 4 deaths from driving. A couple guys leaving work,
just falling
asleep or something.
Well, as sad as it is, man, you go over the, I believe it's the 610 bridge, and there's literally an ad they labeled it as like a disorder, but it's basically where you flip-flop from days to nights and you're just exhausted and your body doesn't know what the hell's going on, so they put you on Adderall.
Yep.
But they call it like so-and-so disorder. I forgot what it was. Yeah. But, dude, a lot of those guys are on Adderall to stay up, and they take Ambien to go to sleep.
Yeah, which is, I mean, just makes the problem worse.
Dude.
Like, it's crazy. But yeah, dude, since I quit, I think I've been up like past midnight one time. It's like, I'm catching up on sleep.
I love my sleep.
Yeah. Like, dude, 7:30 rolls around, I'm taking some ZQuil if I'm not feeling sleepy already.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get 8 hours of sleep a night, man. Like,
Usually up and at 'em pretty early.
Yeah, I usually get up at like 5:30. And I try to keep like that schedule for the most part. Like, I'll get up, drink coffee or an energy drink or something just to kind of wake up, listen to a podcast, read a book, something. Just
get the brain flowing.
Trying to get fired up.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, it was just, that takes a toll on you. And I would get like just depressed and sad seeing these old heads out at the plant. They've been there 35 years, still doing the same job. I'm like, man, I don't want to be like this. They're just miserable. They come in like, oh, I hate being here. Like, I don't want to live like that, man. Like, that ain't what life's about.
But they have a different perspective on it, whereas we value our freedom. Like, that's why I'm a realtor, dude. Like, I would have and I used to have a job where, hey, be here at 8, you can't leave till 5.
Yep.
I felt like I was in prison.
Yep.
I couldn't believe that this person who I don't know can tell me where I have to be and when.
Yep.
And I remember I got home. This is embarrassing, but I got home from the first day. It was I was in construction management, so I was building townhomes. And after the first day, I literally got home, and dude, just like I tried to, I tried to hold it in, but dude, a tear just ran down my eye. I was like, this cannot be.
Yeah, this ain't life.
No,
like, it's nuts, man.
So I quit doing that, and then I worked for my dad for a little while at our storage place, and I just said, look, I'm just gonna do this and figure something else out, and then just signed up for real estate classes, and the rest is history. Thank God I did, man.
Yeah,
because this is perfect. I mean, and you too. Like, if you need to take time out on a Thursday at afternoon or Wednesday at 1 p.m. to come do a podcast, it's no thing. You don't have to call anybody and be like,
can I?
Yeah.
And it was crazy, man, because, dude, I tried so hard to get on at the plants. Like, when I got out of the military, like, I wanted to be a lineman.
It's like they sell it.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. And
he's an operator.
Yep.
Oh, damn, he's balling.
Yeah,
he's got that lifted F-250.
Hell yeah. Got the 250, he's got boat, jet ski.
He's got the truck nuts.
Yep, yeah. And, dude, so, like, when I got out, I wanted to be a lineman. Like, my friend was doing it, and he worked at L.E. Myers, and I was like, dude, that seems awesome because you're not in an office, stuff like that. Got out. I didn't like that at all, man, because it was, like, all on the road. It was, dude, my first week there, they're like, oh, you're going to New Mexico for 2 weeks. I was like, what? Like, I don't want to go to New Mexico.
In a hotel or what?
Oh, yeah. 2 to a room. I was like, man, I'm not doing this shit. And so then I got on at a pipeline company. I was working at the pipeline, dude, and I'm just, for the 2 years I was there, just applying to plants, interviewing for plants. It's so hard to get on, man. And then I got on at Lyndale, and I was like, man, that's awesome. And then I got there, and I was like, man, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
So, like, what would you do, like, if you got into work? Like, what was your kind of routine?
So when we got there, we did relief, and we worked, the hours were 4 to 4, whether you're working days or nights. But if you were there 3:45, you were a lazy piece of shit, and you were late. It was like you had to be there by 3:30. So we get there, do relief, and then you go out and make your round in the unit. And I worked like the original plant of Channelview, Lyndale Channelview. I worked at the original part of it. So it was built in like the 50s. Yeah. And something was always broke, man. So you go out to do a round, and, that would take sometimes 2 hours because you're just fixing little bitty shit that's messed up. It's not like anybody just neglected it. It's just old stuff. Something was always broke. And then, you would go over like the night orders, maintenance orders, seeing what you had to get ready for the next shift or the next day, depending on whether you're working days or nights. I liked days better because we had a breakfast club, so we were always cooking. So that was cool, man. You go do your round, come back, eat breakfast. You had like maybe an hour before contractors got there, and then you're writing permits, making sure everything that they're working on was right, cleared if they were pulling pumps or stuff like that. But nights, man, it was a lot of the time, there wasn't a lot of downtime in that unit just because we were always getting equipment ready for maintenance the next day. But I mean, it wasn't a bad job. It just, I wasn't I ain't cut out to do that for 40 years, man.
Yeah. My buddy Fernando was saying that, and you hear about operators. It's like, all they do is prop their feet up and watch a screen. Sometimes is what he said.
Exactly.
It's like
sometimes
it is like that, and then sometimes it's like you're running around with your hair on fire and you're working literally
hoping
the
something don't blow up.
Yeah, and but Grayson was saying like when he was working there that like those 12-hour shifts where there's nothing going on and you're just literally sitting there. He was like, sounds fun, like you're getting paid to do nothing, but he was like, it was hell. Yeah, like you just have to get up and go outside and walk around.
Yeah, dude, it's like I guess like kind of demoralizing.
Yeah.
Like it's just you don't feel like you have a purpose, man. And on nights like that, we didn't have like a bunch of them, but dude, there was times where, I mean, you know, the stars aligned and the unit was running smooth, so you weren't out chasing problems or clearing equipment. But yeah, I mean, you sit there for like, and like, oh, hell yeah, like we don't have anything to do tonight, nothing to clear, nothing to get ready tomorrow. I'm going to chill. And I'd sit there for like an hour. Like, I'm going to go ride my bike around the unit real quick. Like, I'm just going to go ride around. And you go ride around and you're like, I'm going to go walk around. Like, I'm going to go back up front and chill. And then, I mean, you can only do it so long. Yeah. I was like, man, like, just, you can only do it for so much.
Yeah.
Or me.
Take a nap. But I feel like your sleep schedule's so messed up.
Dude, you catch a nap out there, you're gone.
Really?
Yeah. And that was the thing that was crazy, man. It's like the HR people making like these rules. They're not working crazy shifts. They're not working.
They're so out of touch.
Yeah, 8 hours or 800 hours of overtime a year on the low end. And dude, like when COVID hit, I'm talking our overtime ramped up, man, because we were making BD, and they're like,
what is BD?
Butadiene, and it goes into like tires and stuff.
Okay.
And that ramped up, man. Like I think we were like the only plant in the country making it at the time.
Oh, shit.
So they were like, whatever this unit can take, we're going to do it.
Crank it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were working like crazy amounts of overtime. And then I think 2020, I worked almost 1,000 hours of overtime just that year. And I was one of the lower ones on my shift because people would they would take it because they knew I had my side hustle. So, like, the dudes I worked with were awesome, man. Like, the actual operators I worked with, they would hook me up all the time. Like, hey, you got jobs this weekend? Like, all right, I'll take that overtime.
Yeah.
So you can have, at least 2 days off. And so they helped me out a lot. But, man, it was just crazy just keeping up with it.
Do y'all have you had to do a lot of paperwork. Like, I feel like every move you make out there has to be documented.
Yeah. So that was like the board operators would do like the more in-depth stuff. Like outside, I would have to do like a shift log of like what I did that night. But I mean, you were always keeping notes on readings of everything that passed on to relief and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't what I was meant to do, I guess.
Yeah. I have a buddy who, for anonymity, I won't say where he worked, but it was a fuel. I don't know if they did fuel testing or they manufactured it, but kind of the whole gist of the deal was ships would pull up and they would offload fuel, whatever, or like whatever chemical or whatever, and store it, I think, in tanks. So he had to use like a certain hose for like each different one because you don't want to run, say you're offloading gasoline and you have, a hose that had diesel run through it.
You can't mix it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had tolerances for all that. And he had just gotten a promotion probably a couple months before that. And it was like a ship had come, and dude, I mean, to offload fuel off of those ships could take 12, 14 hours sometimes. I mean, they're huge tanks on those ships. And it was something about he said he used a certain hose, but he didn't. He used another one, and he wrote it in the log, and they found the discrepancy because one of the batches was like contaminated.
Yeah. And
they traced it back to him, and he got demoted back down. Yeah. Because he put one wrong little check mark.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're all over that stuff, man. Like, and it's crazy, like the trends they can pull on like the board side of it, dude. They can tell like, well, this happened, so this valve must have been open. Around this time. Like, it's nuts, man.
Damn.
Like, yeah, you definitely got to be sharp, and which was crazy with like the amount of overtime we were working and lack of sleep and shifting, days and nights and stuff. HR's like, no, you got to be sharp. Like, you're gonna get fired. like y'all come work one shift, man.
Yeah. Did you have any friends or guys you knew got popped for stuff like that or no?
No, because we were real good about helping each other out, because we didn't have any engineers and stuff in our building, so it was just like operators and then like our supervisor. So we were real good about keeping each other awake and stuff.
Yeah. What did you do on you could take did you have like vacation days?
Yeah, so we had I think like it came out to like 2 weeks of vacation a year. But yeah, I would just take that one whenever I could, and usually I was just working on it.
Starting your new hustle.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I bet you were freaking one exhausted man,
dude,
coming off of nights and then
crazy.
Going after a night. So like if you had work days, you had to be there at 3:30 in the morning.
Yep. So I was leaving my house around like 2:40.
Oh my God. Middle of the night, man.
Yep. And then so I would work, I'd leave my house at 2:40, getting back to like when I was in Seabrook, at 4 in the afternoon, you get on Beltway, it's either there's no traffic or you're there for an hour. And then I would go work after that. Like I'd go home, change, put on my Coastal shirt, dude, and I was chunking stuff in that truck. And same thing, like on nights and stuff, I would start in the morning. So if I worked nights and had a job the next day, man, I'd come home and sleep for 3 hours and then get up, feel like a dang zombie all day, go work, and then go work before I go to work.
Yeah. I bet you can't help but think like, wow, 12 hours a day, add an hour either way for the commute.
Yeah, 14-hour day.
Yeah. And then you come home to a house that, you're going to work to pay for this house, this truck you're driving, but you can't even really enjoy it because you got to go to sleep because you got to be back up and at work within. So you would go in at 4 a.m., get off at 4 p.m. You got to be back at 4 a.m.
Yep.
So you get an hour to yourself, 2 hours to yourself?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Man, that's indentured servitude.
Yeah. And then like if I had a job right after work, I would take the dump truck to the plant and bring a change of clothes, change in the locker room, and then go do Coastal jobs right after work.
Hey, but it paid off, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was tough. I'm just glad I'm not doing it anymore. But
yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. You have any plans to expand your operations at all?
Oh yeah. I want to get to the point where there's no franchise junk removals around here. Like I want to run them all out of business. So.
Dang, that's thinking big, man.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it takes.
Yeah. So like I had one of the local companies called, or they had sold out to a franchise, and then like the dude that owned it, which now works there, had called and like offered me a job, and like I don't know if he just like meant to piss me off, but I took it as like a personal insult.
Like, oh, you think?
Yeah.
I'm roughing it over here.
So I was like, man, like my goal is for that franchise to get the hell out of here. Like I don't want them around here anymore.
Well, dude, I think the move is to build a business. Like you could build that up and get it to where you got maybe 50, 100 employees, however many you can scale up to and make it work. And then somebody come in and just take it off your hands and you sell it. Yeah. I was watching a thing the other day. It was asking billionaires how they made their money and what is it worth it. And they interviewed the dude that started Kinko's the copy place.
Yep.
Started with one store, grew it to I don't even remember how many stores, man, thousands of stores, and sold it and got a wire for $1.5 billion.
That's awesome, man.
Dude,
that's a good day.
He was like, it was just the best, like most amazing feeling because it was just no stress. Now I can think about what I want to think about.
Yeah.
He said he bought a $22 million jet. Like, bro, can you imagine?
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So I think that's having an exit strategy and being able to kind of trying not to like for me, it's like, I don't want to be just a realtor. Like I want to be open to anything.
Yeah.
Yep. Now real estate is something I know, so it'll probably have something to do with real estate.
Yeah, for sure.
Landlord, note holder, whatever it is, but yeah, you got to wear different hats, man.
Yeah, I want to get Coastal to 5 trucks in the next 2 years, 5 dump trucks running around. I want to have, like right now we usually work with 2 people on the truck. I want to have 3 people on each truck, constantly going from Houston to Galveston. but have, sections of like this truck is in this area. But then like with Nohoa, like I want that to take off, man, because that's just kind of like a creative outlet for me. And I love, giving to animals and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Coastal, I've done like donated to like food banks and stuff like that. And then like ocean conservation, but a lot of the food banks, I just felt like they were kind of mismanaged.
That's
like,
the thing,
I
man.
feel like I'm giving money to them, but like I'm really
Where's it
giving
going?
money to the people that run it.
Yeah.
And so like I stopped doing that. But man, I just the food banks that I did give to, I'm sure there's some good ones out there, and I'd be open to doing that again. But the ones I was giving to, like when I met them, it was just something didn't feel right.
They seem like they're at work.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, give me your shit, whatever you got.
That's like, man, that's like a big thing. Like I drove down to Corpus Christi to meet with the ocean conservation people, because like I want to meet who I'm giving the money to. And like, I did a couple organizations before I met them, and like they were awesome. So I was like, this is the one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people at Habitat for Horses, like just awesome people. But yeah, man, like with Coastal, I've given to different ones, and something just always felt off. So I just stopped doing to that, like those specific ones. But yeah, I want to get it, up there big. I want to be bigger than the franchises around here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dude, I think five trucks is a realistic goal.
Yep.
And then, 2 more years, 10.
Yep.
And then grow exponentially, hopefully.
Yeah. And like the market is kind of saturated down here.
I have noticed.
People, but it's just, people will go get like a utility trailer, and I understand the hustle of it, but like they price so low, it's like you're not making money unless you're dumping it on the side of the road somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is crazy to me, man. And then like that sucks, because people will call, me or one of the other businesses that have, business insurance, like a dump truck. I have notes and stuff. Like the dump truck's almost $1,000 a month to, keep that truck running. It gets 7 miles a gallon, like on gas.
It's gas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing. I didn't want a diesel one because the maintenance is so expensive. So I wanted the gas. And but dude, they're like, oh well, why is it this much for a full truck?
So and so said they can do it for this.
Dude do it for $200. I'm like, well, his dump fee's $250, so I don't understand how he's losing $50 on a job. Like,
you're preaching to the choir, dude.
Yep.
Because I'm sure you know more than one realtor.
Oh yeah.
And it seemed like I got licensed in 16, and it seemed like around 18, 19, 20 is when so many people got licensed.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows 5 realtors now.
Yeah.
And I run into that all the time where, oh, well, so-and-so said they do it for this.
Yeah.
And I'm
they'll drop their commission.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let
because,
them. Like,
yeah, I mean, I know what it costs me to work every month.
Yep.
And I just can't, it doesn't make sense financially for me. Like, I want to help. Like, I want to help everyone I can, but not at my own demise.
Like, you lose everything. Like, you can't pay your truck, can't pay your house. Like, yeah, it don't make sense, man. And that's what, like, lately, ever since the pandemic and stuff, man, it's just, like, that's crazy how much people are, like, just like, oh, yeah, I'll haul that for $100.
And, they literally will dump it on the side of the road.
Yeah, like, it's, like, there's no other way they're doing it. It's like, I bid one job that was, like, 4 trucks. And so, I mean, it was over, like, $2,000. And the guy was like, oh, no, I had another guy bid me $300. I was like, how? Like there's no way. He showed me the dude had written a bid for $300 for this job. I was like, yeah, I'd call him. Like, and then make sure you don't have personal information, because if the city finds your name in a pile of trash on the side of the road, they're coming for you, not that dude.
Yeah, like, dude, my dad had a sand pit on Grayson Road in Beltway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know, like on Red Bluff and Beltway, there's a Shipley's, and then there's that new technical high school. The street after that is Grayson Road.
Okay.
And, dude, every day we would go out there, and there would be some, like, piles of crap that it sounds like people picking up stuff like that for $100 and going and dumping it. I mean, dude, tires, furniture, mattresses.
Yep, it's all over the place,
dude.
And that was that was really like what got me on the path of junk removals, because on it's not on Toddville, but it's one of the cut through roads from 146 to Toddville in Seabrook. people would dump mattresses and stuff. And I drive by there and it just pisses me off, man.
Makes
I don't
the
want to
community
see that
look
stuff.
bad.
Yeah, I don't want to see that crap. And then, so, dude, I've been hitting, like, cities up. I see illegal dumps. Dude, I'll send them the address. Like, we can get out there. I can give you a bid, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, our parks department or whatever is going to take care of it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll
month
be right
later,
on that.
it's 2 couches still sitting on the side of Highway 6. I'm like, man, like, come on. Like, yeah, I hate seeing that stuff, man, because it just makes the whole town look bad, wherever you're at. But, yeah, that was a huge thing of why I got, like, into junk removal specifically. But, yeah, I tried to do the franchises, and that was crazy.
That's one thing I like about living in League City, man. They do not mess around with that type of stuff.
Very clean.
Clean.
Yeah, they're on top of it, dude, for sure.
And for the property taxes I pay, they better be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. League City, man, it's always clean.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kima. Kima's pretty clean too.
Yeah. So you were in business during that big freeze. Did you have a lot of business from that?
I was stuck at the plant. So
dang.
Stuck at the plant, and then
like physically stuck, couldn't go home, or you were working?
Yeah, we were working. Like we got locked down, and that sucked. But like so we were still in Seabrook at that time, and at my house I had a garage apartment over the garage. I used it as like my coastal office. Not nice stuff, but stuff I was proud of that I had up there.
Yeah, dude, office.
And so I was at the plant for 3 or 4 days. Come back, my wife had been at my parents' house in Pearland because they had a generator and stuff. And the power had went out. House was fine, but the garage apartment didn't have enough insulation on the attic, so freaking water line froze, busted, and so I come home. My wife hadn't been there in 3 days. Don't know when it busted.
No.
But like I pull in the driveway and I can just hear water running, and I was like, well, maybe it's just like the ice and stuff melting. Like I don't care. Like I haven't bathed. I get to the plant, man. So like we get locked down out there. First night when the freeze hit, freaking freezes the water line at the plant. So we had no running water. Couldn't flush the toilets. Couldn't use the sink. Nothing. For 3 days, we're living off canned food. Like, man, this is some BS.
Yeah.
Like, God dang. And then they were talking about only paying us for 12 hours because that was all we were working. Like, no, we're out here for 24 hours. Like y'all better pay us or I'm going to get some gallon jugs of BD and go sell it on Craigslist or something. And so, yeah, I come home and I hear, like, the water running. I was thinking, well, maybe it's just the ice. Like, I don't care. I'm going to go take a shower. Like, I freaking stink. And then it's like I'm walking up to like the back door and it's just loud. And I was like, God dang, like what is that? Open the garage door and I had a Mini Cooper that I drove to work and stuff, and I had it parked in the garage and windows were down on it. I'm not thinking anything's going to happen, but that's my work car. So I was like, well, I'm not going to drive it if it's freezing. I'll take my truck. So I parked that thing in the garage, got the windows down. Open it, and dude, my entire garage ceiling had collapsed on it. So I was like, oh shit, like my apartment's flooded. So I run up there, dude, it's already flooded. Like it's flooded to the point where it had already soaked through the floors and stuff. Totaled the Mini Cooper, had to do a complete gut job on the garage apartment, top and bottom, before we sold the house. Like, man, it was crazy. I was like, dude, this sucks. But the house was fine, so at least it was that.
I had a house under contract. It was set to close like a week after the freeze had happened. So, a week before closing, we get this like, oh, it's going to be 15 degrees. Like, let's see what happens. Sure enough, dude, pipes above the kitchen busted. And luckily it wasn't too bad. And we were able to get a plumber over there and get them fixed real quick and patched it up and painted and sheetrocked and floated and everything and got it done. I mean, literally the morning we closed, I had to go over there and take pictures, timestamp photos to send to the lender to show, like, we're done, it's fixed, done right. And we had to send the receipts and everything to him. Yeah,
that's nuts, man. But, yeah, like, I didn't have the roll-offs at the time, but, man, I was getting calls for, like, hey, do you have roll-offs? And, like, I didn't have them at that point. But, our junk removal stuff picked up, but there was a lot of insulation and stuff, and I went and picked it up. I just hate doing it because you get all itchy. But, yeah, dude, it ruined that apartment, ruined my car, that was a cool little car.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Oh, yeah. It was nuts. But it was like, everything had spiked up already, like the prices. So like I'd had that car for, it was like a 2013. So I had it for like 7 years, paid off. And then we got like almost what we paid for it.
Oh, nice.
From the total. So I was like, that's cool, but still lost the car. But
did you get another one?
No.
Yeah.
No, I bought my new truck, got rid of my old truck, and then I lost both. So I'd sold my other truck, bought that truck, and then lost the Mini Cooper within like 2 weeks. So
Dang.
Yeah.
But. Cool, man. Well, anything else you want to plug, promote your company? Your clothing company. What's it called again?
Nohoa Threads.
And what's the website? You sent me the website. What is it?
Just NohoaThreads.com.
NAHOA.
Yep.
Threads.
NAHOA Threads. Yep.
.com.
And then it's just Nohoa_threads on Instagram.
Okay. And people can order from there, or?
Yeah, you can go. So I'm still setting up, but it'll send you a link to the website on there, and you can order from there. And then I'll have this shirt on there in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But,
and then it's Coastal Junk Removal 1
Yep.
on Instagram. Are you on Facebook or anything?
Yeah, it's the same thing on Facebook.
Just Coastal Junk Remover.
They're linked. So
yeah. No YouTube?
No, not yet.
Dude, okay, so real quick. There's a guy on YouTube I've seen who does lawn, like cuts lawns.
Yeah.
And he'll knock on someone's door and be like, hey, it'll be like an old lady that can't take care of her place. And he'll be like, hey, I saw your grass is 2 foot high. Would you care if I mowed it for you? And they're like, well, I can't really afford any. He's like, no, I'll do it for free. And they're like, why would you do it for free? Not saying you should do your jobs for free, but I think with junk removal, it might be interesting to film some of that and put it on YouTube just to show kind of, but we're back to what I was saying. This kid will just cut their yard for free for his YouTube channel. He'll video himself doing it. And he has a lot of followers on TikTok. Like I want to say like 1 million.
Yeah.
And his YouTube is huge because people just think it's so cool because he takes like the time lapse videos of him cutting the yard.
Cool.
He like scrapes the dirt off the driveway to clean it up. I mean, it looks amazing when he's done and people love watching it.
Nice.
But I don't know, just an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to take like pictures and videos, man, but like a lot of people, they'll be like, hey, can you not take pictures?
Right, right.
Like, so
I've definitely had moments like that where you feel, when the time's right.
I won't. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people will just be like, hey, can you not take pictures? Even if they find me on Instagram, like, they'll see before and after photos. I'm like, man, that's how I get work. And they're like, yeah, can you not?
Well,
okay.
Dude, it shouldn't matter if you're not like, hey, we're working on the Smith's house at this address.
Like, I'm at Jane Smith's house here, and look, you won't believe what she's got. Like, I don't post addresses. I don't even put the city most of the time. And but yeah, some people just very private about it. So I'm like, okay.
Dude, I had a storage one time where this girl came in, and I knew the day I rented to her it was going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
She was this big around, open sores on her face, right? Just on crack or something. Yeah. She paid 1 month rent and got locked up. So I mean, her unit was literally, like I said, she was there for a month, and it was the kind of deal where people would say like, yeah, dude, I came in here at 11 o'clock last night. That girl's in her unit just in there. Yeah. There's like a light on in there. I'm like, the heck? So she gets locked up. There's like a legal process you have to go through to evict somebody from a storage. You have to send them certified letters and all that. Well, of course they all bounced because she's in jail.
Yep.
And so I cut the lock and go in there, dude.
It was a 1-bedroom apartment.
It was.
Yeah. She
had a couch that she was sleeping on. She had a lamp for light. There was broken crack pipes on the ground.
Yep.
And then I think there was a broken safe. But my point being is like the junk, like the weird junk you see. There was a prosthetic leg in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she probably, when she found it, she probably thought she struck gold. Like,
something. Well, I made a joke. I sent it to my fantasy football group. I was like, hey, I found our next trophy for next year. Prosthetic leg.
Like a Christmas story, man. Make a lamp out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had like storage units that people were sleeping in. We demoed like a U-Haul truck one time. It was like somebody had cut the cab off of it and just had the box. Mm-hmm. And that was...
They were living in there.
Somebody was. It wasn't them. Somebody was living in it. Yeah. Garages that we've cleaned out of like abandoned homes. We did a cleanup in, sorry if I'm taking up too much time.
Oh, you're good.
We did a cleanup in Galveston. It was a beach rental, and somebody had broken into it. Like, the people didn't live there, you know, they were just using it as a rental property. Had a standoff with SWAT down there. Got arrested. So SWAT ended up, you know, breaching the house, pepper balling it and stuff, trying to get this dude out of there. He had flooded it, and then so we had done it, and it was a 2-day job. So we went down there one day, filled up, you know, 2 or 3 trucks. Come back the next day, there's kick marks all on the door. That dude, turns out, been trying to get back in the house because he got let out of jail the night before. Like, dude, like, yeah, it's nuts, the stuff you just run across, man. And I feel bad for, like, these people that own it because they had to redo the kitchen, redo the bathroom upstairs.
It's like these people during the pandemic say, like, rent forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, bro, most landlords are just average people. They're not corporations.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like
this person,
$1 billion place.
You're paying $1,700 a month rent for this house. Their freaking mortgage is probably $1,600.
Yep, they're making $100, $200.
Yeah, they're just hoping to pay it off one day. And dude, it's just like the entitlement people have.
Dude, it was and it's crazy, man. It drives me crazy.
I could go on for another hour about that. I could too.
Like, it's just nuts, man. Like, oh yeah, rent forgiveness, like for you, but like the homeowner's getting screwed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So, well, man, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
I love your story.
Thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, I love how the donating to the animals. I love that. You don't run across that too much where people just like, that's like one of your main things. I saw it on y'all's website.
Yep.
So I think that's cool. And
I was a dog handler in the Air Force, and that was really like all about the animals. Man.
Yeah.
They're just cooler than people most of the time.
That is a fact.
So, yep.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
Man.
And we will talk to y'all later.